Shabath Shalom, all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Let me take my time, not speak too fast, not trip over my words. Right, this lesson is called No Respect to Persons, Part 2. Most are willing, everyone's edified after the lesson. I get some encouragement, not to be a respect to person, not to have partiality with a brethren and a sister, children, your parents, or anyone around you, of your own people. Right? Um, Scribes get ready, readers get ready. We've got some videos ready also as well. Right? We're gonna get into this lesson. We're not gonna hold anyone. Everyone get their Bibles ready, their apocryphas, their note books, their pens, whatever they may need. Right? I'd like to get the scriptures and everyone can kind of get it for themselves. So the first scripture I want to get, right, pick up where I left off last time, is the book of Job, chapter 13 and verse 10. So that's the book of Job, chapter 13 and verse number 10. Most I willing everyone had a peaceful Shabath. We're just taking it easy now, or having a peaceful Shabath, taking it easy now. The sun goes down fairly quick in the winter time. So that's Job chapter 13 and verse number 10. Get the lesson started. No respect to persons, part 2. For the few that are in the chat, no respect to persons, part 2. So our brother can bring that for me, Baba Kashaf. Job 13 and verse 10.
This is the book of Job, chapter 13 and verse 10.
Well, the King for all praise Yahweh Bashem Yashab.
He will surely reprove you if ye do secretly accept persons.
You do secretly what?
Accept persons.
Yeah, so the Most High will surely correct you, man, if you are gonna accept persons, man. They're gonna say, oh, this guy, he knows a lot, or this guy, he might have a fancy car, he might have money, he might have multiple jobs, he might have multiple forms of income, he might be able to help me. Right? You don't want to be a respecter of persons or accept persons, man. Right? Because the Most High is gonna correct you, man. Right? In many ways, you don't know what way the Most High is gonna correct you, man. Right? Kind of got your phone ringing. Look at this brother. Oh, why is this brother calling me? Kind of don't want to answer the phone. But then when you see another brother like Maccabee answering the phone, Shalom, bro. No, it can't be like that. You got to treat the same brother that you didn't want to answer the phone the same way you treat the brother Maccabee, man. Obviously, we might have different levels, different relationships, and different friendships. We understand? But you can't be a respected person and put one brother over another brother just because you might like him more, right? Or you might have known him more, right? You might be able to gain something more from that brother, right? We have to understand there's no respect to persons with the Most High God, right? Let me get that one more time for the sister Dion that just joined, right? Joel 13 and 10. This lesson is called No Respect to Persons, part 2 for the sister that just joined, right? This is part 2 of No Respect to Persons.
Book of Job, chapter 13 and verse 10. He will surely reprove you if ye do secretly accept persons.
We can't be secretly accepting persons, right? Having favoritism or partiality with certain brethren or sister, right? Or straying more to one brother or more sister more than another, right? Kind of saying bring it up to one brother, but the other brother kind of not saying nothing, boy. Just holding your hands, looking up and or folding your arms, looking up in the sky, man, looking down on the ground, right? Kind of don't want to help get the scriptures, right? Kind of don't want to burn the frankincense or play the videos, right? Or even record videos, right? Kind of don't want to turn up, right, for feast days or unity camps, right? Or even just in general to just go cinemas or play, say, bowling or whatever the case may be, man. Might be ice hockey, tennis, whatever. And the brethren inviting everyone. Oh, no, he's going to be there. I'm not going to be there. But we can't have no respect to persons of the Most High, man. The amount of precepts I've got on this, hey, we're gonna be going through them quite quickly, man, because we don't want to waste too much time, right? We know tomorrow we got the unity camps, all praise to the Most High, and we know we don't want everyone to stay up late. So let's get the next precept, brother Darren, when you're ready. Yeah. Let me get Mark chapter 12, verse 14. And if anyone's got any precepts, please don't hesitate to bring it out. If you want to put it in the chat, or if you want to put your hand up or say Slakia, or just say, look, I've got a precept. So Mark chapter 12 and verse 14.
It is the book of Mark, chapter 12 and verse 14. And when they were come, they say unto him, Master, we know that thou art the true, and carest for no man, For thou regardest not the person of men, but teachest the way of God in truth. Is it lawful to
Come on,
give?
come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, that's it, man. Yeah. So, hey, Yahweh didn't regard the person of man. He didn't have favoritism, right? He did have his 12 disciples, right? But hey, he healed the sick, right? People that are lame, they were healed. People that are blind, they were able to see, right? Everyone got a portion, right? There's no respect to person with the Most High and no respect to person with Yahweh Shai, man. All right. Let me get that one more time from the top, King.
Book of Mark, chapter 12, and verse 14. And when they were come, they say unto him, Master, we know that thou art true, and carest for no man, for thou regardest not the person of men, but teachest the way of God in truth. Is it lawful to give tribute to Caesar or
All
not?
right, yeah. So, yeah, Christ was not regarding a person and cares not for man, right? But teaches the way of the Most High in truth. So you have to remember when we live in our daily lives, forget you being at camp or being at feast day or being around other brethren, right? Are you respect a person with your people, man, right? You kind of look down on a brother and a sister because they're wearing certain type of clothing, right? 'Cause if so, you have to repent, man. Right? According to the book of James, that would be a sin, right? Ah, this guy looks like that, or that girl, that lady looks like that. Uh, nah, we can't be doing these things, man. All right, let's get a Sirach 4 and 27. The Sirach is the Apocrypha, also known as Ecclesiasticus, 4 and 27. And the way I look at it, you see, when we was in school and you always had the teacher's pet, that's how I see people that are respected persons. You know, you're like a teacher's pet, man. You're looking for something for someone, or you just have a favorite, right? And you either want to do it secretly or openly. But the Most High is going to reprove you. He's going to correct you, man. Because these are not the ways we should be conducting ourselves as Israelites, right? There's someone that might be looking at the Hebrew Israelites and saying, "Yeah, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, but I don't know if I want to be around them, right? Because I see partiality, I see favoritism, right?" You might make someone not even want to keep the Sabbath, right? Or believe that they're Hebrew Israelite, or keep the commandments, man. In general, right? You can scare away sheep like that as well by being a respecter of persons, right? You can bring that up, bro.
4 and 27 to 4 and 25.
4 and 27.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 4 and verse 27. Make not thyself an underlining to a foolish man, neither accept the person of the mighty.
Yeah, man, don't make yourself an underling.
Underling, sorry,
Yeah,
underling.
to a foolish man, right? Neither accept the person of the mighty, right? Yeah, he's got this or she's got that, etc., etc., etc. And then you're going to be a respecter of persons, right? And that's not even genuine. The Most High wants us to be genuine, right? We try to strive, do better day by day. Yeah, we know it will fall short. Just man, fall of 7 times, rise up again, as scriptures say. But hey, you got to be making effort, man, trial and error, right? Be correcting yourself. So you know your own self, right? Put up on a board, tick, 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 X, 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 and try and strive to be better, man, right? Please. This is not for me. This is for my brother and for my sister to get better. We all need to get better, even if it's one step at a time. These scriptures, these commandments, these precepts, they're here for a reason, not for us to be reading a book as a Harry Potter book and in real life we're just doing a totally opposite thing, right? Because there's people that are watching us, whether we like it, understand it, believe it or not, right? Whether you're even aware of it, they're watching. Let me see if this man's gonna do this or this lady's gonna do that, right? Let's see if they really believe in the scriptures. Right? Let me get the book of Colossians 3 and 25. The book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 25. Because you can entertain an angel unawares, right? And treat them a certain type of way because you feel like they might not know enough or they're being perceived as someone that doesn't have money or they look kind of scruffy, right? Or you just look down on them for whatever reason because you're feeling prideful or in your exaltation because you've got a new job or whatever the case may be. Right?
Um, Book of Colossians, chapter 3, and verse 25. But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done, and there is no respect of persons.
Right? So all we keep hearing through the precepts is no respect to persons, no respect to persons, no respect to persons. With the Most High and with Yahweh Shai, it's all we're hearing is no respect to persons. So how much more are we going to be respect to persons of our own brethren, our own sister, right? Don't have favoritism. Don't have one brother you prefer of another brother, right? And you look down on the other one. You might have someone that you might prefer, but don't put them over the other one just for the sake of it, because you might have some type of gain, right? Everyone has their people that they're more close to. So be it. But don't be respected persons. These things are not required of us as being Hebrew Israelites, which is our heritage, right? Not a religion. Can I get a precept quickly as well? Because I've got a precept in. Let me get Hebrews chapter 13 and verse. You can start from 1 through to 2. So it's Hebrews 13, 1 and 2. Please.
Book of Hebrews, chapter 13, and verse 1. Let brotherly love continue. Verse 2. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares.
Yeah, you don't know if you're entertaining an angel, right? And you're showing favoritism, right? Or being a respect of persons, right? The videos are going to explain it a bit more, right? And kind of add on to what the scriptures are saying. What I'm going to bring out a bit more later, right? So we can't be a respect of persons, and we have to make sure we're trying to treat each other as equal as we can, right? Not putting one brother above another brother for the sake of whatever gain you feel like you're going to get. Because this world we're in now is temporary, right? The kingdom come is long, everlasting life, man. Right? Let me get First Peter 1 and 17. Thinking of so many things at the same time. First Peter 1 and 17.
Um, this is the book of First Peter, chapter 1, verse 17. And if ye call on the Father, who is without respect of persons, judgeth according to
Wait,
ev-
hold on. Read that again. If you call on who?
and if ye call on the Father,
So hold it there. We call on the Father, we pray to the Father, we ask for mercy. Sometimes we might be meditating and talking to the Father, right? Through the Spirit, or if you're speaking out loud, if you're speaking under your breath, you're speaking to the Father. Read on.
who without respect of persons
Come on.
judgeth according to every man's work, pass the time of your sojourning here in fear.
Wait. Cold. Cold. Right? The Most High doesn't deal with no respect to persons, right? But he's going to judge if according to every man's work, right? And Yahweh Shai is going to be that judge, man, right? So you have to understand and listen. I don't know how much more times I can say this. We cannot be a respect to persons. It's as plain upon tables as that, right? Case closed. No respect to persons. Right? Oh, there's this brother coming to the feast day. Oh, if he's not coming, I don't want to come. I'll make up some excuse. Right? Is he gonna come here? Is he gonna come to the cinemas? Or whatever the case may be, man. Right? If you're called to come somewhere, you come there. Don't worry about who's gonna come. Right? If you're getting a phone call from a brother, answer the phone. The same way you're calling another brother who you might be putting up on a pedestal, you expect him to answer. So say if he treats you the same way that you're treating that brother. And that's why Christ said you got to love your brother yourself, man. Right? No man's gonna enter the kingdom if he hates his brother. Right? And to have respect to persons is a sin, right? So you can't get around that. Let me get Philippines chapter 3 and verse 20. Baba Kasha, which just means please in Hebrew tongue.
This is the
And
book of
even though this is
Philip,
part two, I want to get a preset from part one to prove that being a respect to persons or having respect to persons is a sin. I'll call that in a minute, Darren. You can read it.
book of Philippians, chapter 3, and verse 20. For our conversation is in heaven, from whence also we look for the Saviour, the Lord Jesus Christ.
Okay. And Mashiach Yahweh Shai in the Hebrew tongue, man. For those who don't know, he was ignorantly called Jesus Christ. Right? So our conversation should be in heaven, right? We should be thinking about heavenly things, godly things, right? Righteous things. To be a respect of persons is not thinking about righteous or godly things, right? James 2 and 9. This is a precept that was brought out in the lesson, the first lesson, basically. So I want to bring that again to prove to be a respect of persons or to have respect of persons is a sin, right? James chapter 2 and verse 9.
This is the book of James, chapter 2 and verse 9. But if ye have respect to persons, ye commit sin, and are convinced of the law as transgressors.
Read it again, brother.
But if ye have respect to persons, ye commit sin, and are convinced of the law as transgressors.
Yeah. So if you haven't respect a person, you commit sin. Who said that? James, the brother of Yahushua. Then you're gonna say, oh, maybe he's wrong. Maybe he said something else, or maybe he meant something else. Right? No. If you haven't respect to persons, you're committing sin. What is sin? Let me just get First John 3 and 4. Right? Thinking it's just I don't need to eat pork, crab, shrimp, lobster. Right? I just need to grow out my beard. Okay, sisters, I just need to have a dress and be modest. It's more than that. Because you can have sisters that favor other sisters. I don't like the way she looks, and I don't like this just for no reason. Right? You have to repent from that spirit. That's not a godly spirit. That's not a peaceful spirit. Right? Don't think it's just about not eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster and going to the feast days or going to camp, right? Or being godly around people that you respect, that want you to be godly, right? Be godly around those people that don't expect you to be godly, right? Like your family members or friends, right? Kind of hiding the fact that you believe in the Bible around certain friends because you feel like they're too cool for you, right? Or you want to be in the get along, go along gang. No, man. Right? You can bring that, bro.
Book of First John, chapter 3 and verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law.
So basically, you're transgressing the law. You're breaking a law once you have respect to persons, right? Again, it's not just not eating pork, crab, shrimp, lobster, right? Or keeping the Sabbath day or breaking the Sabbath day, man. It's more than that, right? You can't be a respect to persons, right? Let's go back to James, right? Let's go back to James. There's more in that, Darren, I just see it
Yeah.
now. There's more in that. Yeah. Verse 1 specifically.
Was it
Yeah.
3 and 1?
No, sorry, 2 and 1.
2 and 1.
Yeah. I
Calm.
believe you read 2 and 9 first, and then you read
Yeah. Calm,
yeah.
calm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
on, go on.
The book of
Go on.
James, chapter 2, verse 1. My brethren, have not the faith of our Lord Yahushua Christ, the Lord of glory, with respect of persons.
Can't get around that again. Don't have the faith of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, the ruler of glory with respect to persons. Right? Yeah. I'm just the top guy, man. Or I'm just a top sister. Right? Or whatever the case may be. Right? And you got to respect the persons with you being in that certain position. Right? Or you might be the one that makes garments. Right? Or you host this. Right? Or you got this made, or you make staffs. Right? Or you got the link for frankincense and myrrh. Or whatever the case may be. And then you got respect to persons. You favor one brother or one sister over the other. We've been told countless of times not to have respect to persons. Right? I believe in total through the part 1 and part 2 is about maybe not exaggerating, probably like 40 precepts on not having respect to persons. And that's just me estimating. It might be more. So if it's written over 40 times, probably even more than that, how much more should we be taking heed to it? All right. Let's get the book of, and get one more and play a video. Let's get the book of Sirach, chapter 4 and 22. We're back in chapter 4 again. Sirach, chapter 4 and 22.
The book of
And again,
Ecclesiasticus.
Darren Salaki, again, there's even more in James, But we'll go back there after. We'll go back there after.
Calm.
I believe the whole of chapter 2, most of the whole of chapter 2. It's having no respect to persons. James is getting on them, man. Right? And for those that think about money is or think money is everything, hey, if you go to James chapter 5, I believe the whole of chapter 5 is getting onto people that just want to glorify and just be in riches, right? So yeah, this specific chapters in the Bible is just getting on a specific thing or person that how we shouldn't be basically. So yeah, we'll get James 2 after again and go down, but let's get Sirach, what did I say, 4 and 22. Yeah, Sirach
Mm.
4 and 22. Oh, sure.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 4 and verse 22. And refer, sorry, Slovakia. Accept no person against thy soul, and let not the reverence of any man cause thee to fall.
Let's play, man. Play the table, man. Don't accept no people against your own soul, man. Right. Because some people can accept people and they end up going off, man. Right. End up doing whatever, right? Against your own soul. Now you're gonna lose your own soul just for that person. Oh, he's a celebrity. Oh, he's a streamer. Right. He's a basketball player. He's a footballer. Maybe I can get someone in the world with this. It's just one Sabbath. It's just pork. It's just shaving off my beard. Right? No. Don't accept no person against your soul, man. And don't let the reverence of any man cause you to fall. Right? No man should be able to call you to fall, man. Woman, child, beast, whatever. Serve the Most High in truth and sincerity. It's your soul, it's your salvation, you know. Can't walk with no one to the kingdom. Oh, yeah, I was with him. Oh, no, I was with that sister. Right? We're always doing this together. No, everyone's going to be tried according to their own works. I'm going to hold hands and jump into the kingdom with one person. Everyone's going to be judged off their own. Let's get Second Corinthians. Hey, we're getting into it now, Darren. Now, let's get Second Corinthians chapter 5, verse 10. Uh, 2 Corinthians 5, verse 10. 2 Corinthians 5.
The book of Second Corinthians, chapter 5 and verse 10. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that every one may receive the things done in his body, according to that he hath done, whether it be good or bad.
Simple, plain and point. We're all going to be held accountable for what we do. Oh no, but this sister done this or this brother done that, and I was with them and I was holding hands with them, and no, you can be judged according to your own works. We're all going to be appearing for the judgment seat, man. Right? The Most High is going to judge everyone by Yahweh Shai. Right? Can't say, oh no, but I was with this person, or I done this, or I helped out with just this, and you're going to be judged according to what you did, not holding hands with someone, right? Or just following someone, right? Blindly, not reading for yourself. That's what I mean when they say holding hands, trying to go with someone. You need to read for yourself. You need to pray for yourself. You need to fast for yourself. You need to believe for yourself. You need to love your brother for yourself. You need to forsake being a respect to persons for yourself. All right. Let's get the book of. Well, it's lucky. Let's play this video. Darren's thinking, hold on, brother. Did he say he's gonna play a video?
Nah, all good, all good.
Hey, still praise to the Lord, so I give brother Darren a rest, man.
Nah, all good, bro. All good.
Yeah. Sometimes I just get in it, brother Darren, man. I think the precepts just come to my head. Some of those precepts weren't even part of the lesson. Right? But yeah, we just got to remember that to have like favoritism and all these things is not of God. Right? Not gonna get you nowhere. Right?
Mm.
Wait, at the workplace. Yeah, I'm just gonna make the manager cups of tea every day. Right? Even in that, you're still not gonna get nowhere. After a while, they're gonna use you so they can't use you, and then boy, you just be gone. Seen it happen. Seen it happen. Yeah, so no respect to person. Let's get this video up. Share the screen. Look at it. Yeah. Bear with me. Again, it's a new phone. Bear with me. Trying to share the screen. You can't see the screen, bro, Dan, can you?
No, I can't see nothing, brother.
Sure. Okay, can't. Share entire screen. There we go. Praise the Most High.
Don't pay more for the same weight loss medication. At Juniper, we've lowered the prices of our medicated weight loss program so you don't have to lose care you count on.
Hey, Psych2Goers. Are you having trouble deciding if your friend is a real friend? What do you mean by real, you may ask? Well, I'm talking about a friend who has your best interests at heart, a friend who is genuine with you and not sneaky. If you've had a friend for a while and you feel unhappy or that something's just off, it may be a sign for you to take a moment to determine whether or not this friend is a true pal or a toxic one. Here are 6 signs they're not your real friend. Number 1, they don't show interest or ask about the details of your life. How much interest does your friend show in your life? Do they ask you how your day was? If they do they actually listen or look like they can't wait until they can talk next? A genuine friend is just that, genuine. So if they ask how you are, it may be polite at first, but if you have something to say, they'll be sure to listen and show support. They care about you and simply want to get to know you better. Here's to hoping you show as much support and care towards them too. Number 2, they're not reliable and they're not there when you need them the most. Friends are there for you, especially when you're having a hard time. If your friend can't stop talking about themselves and their problems while not considering your own, then they're likely not a real friend. You may be actively listening to all of their worries in tough situations. I had to take the garbage out today. There were so many dishes piled up and they smelled so bad. Jason never called me back. My ferret died. Okay, the last one was pretty bad. So, be there for them, but if one day it's then your turn to talk about your worries and all they do is interrupt with a quick, "Oh, I gotta go," or they don't even bother to ask, don't even bother with them. Unless this is an uncommon occurrence with them and they're going through something, then they're likely placing all their negative energy on you and taking all of your positive, while not bothering to give back. If you still want to be friends and sense there is something else going on, bring up your concerns with them. Mention that they haven't been there for you as much as you'd counted on. If they still won't listen, it's likely you're in a toxic relationship. Number 3, they're extremely critical of you. Some fake friends can be extremely critical of their friends. Remember, your buddies shouldn't be your biggest critic. They should be your biggest fan. Some friends can offer constructive criticism because they want the best for you and want to see you improve. They're honest, but they'll likely do so in a kind, friendly way if they are a good friend. If your pal is toxic, they'll probably just shame you rather than provide helpful critiques. If they're a good friend, they may just give a kind dose of honesty and advice. Number 4, if they say sorry, their apologies don't sound genuine. Does your friend say sorry when they're wrong? No? Uh-oh. What about when they do? Do they sound genuine? No? Double uh-oh. If your friend is one to ignore your friendship concerns with a look of meh, then they're likely not a genuine friend. If your friend does apologize when they're wrong, but it's along the lines of this, "I'm sorry you feel that way," then they're not taking accountability for their harmful actions and owning up to what they've done. Good friends can admit when they're wrong. They'll then try to work on correcting any negative behavior that affects their friendship. So do you do the same? Number 5, they keep score on how many times you wronged them. Does your friend hold a grudge? Do you hold a grudge towards them? Toxic friendships often involve one or both of the friends involved keeping score of mistakes the other has made. When you do something that upsets them again, or maybe you're in an argument, they'll bring up all the disappointments and negative things you've said or done. Arguments can get out of hand sometimes, but a toxic friend will tend to bring up the toxic scoreboard only when they're confronted with their wrongs. They'll use all the times you did something similar as a means of not having to apologize or take accountability for what they've done wrong. A good friend is honest and listens to the concerns of their buddy. While everyone can argue, a healthy friendship is filled with healthy, constructive discussions rather than toxic fights. So if your friend is acting a bit harmful towards you, how will you bring up the issue? Best to do so by having a healthy, open discussion so things don't escalate. If they still don't budge, then you'll have to decide if they're really a good friend or not. And number 6, they play on your insecurities and make you feel unhappy. Do you feel unhappy around your friend? Insecure? You don't need to feel your most joyful self when around your friend. That's normal. And there can be times where you feel nervous or unhappy as well from time to time. But if your friend makes you feel bad about yourself, then this could be another sign you're in a toxic relationship. You shouldn't always feel on edge around your friend, afraid of their next criticism or harsh words. Maybe they make snide remarks or always hold themselves in higher regards to you. A toxic friend may play on your insecurities to make themselves feel better. Both needs should be met in a friendship without hurting the other's feelings or making them feel unhappy. Take note of how you feel after each interaction with them. Next time you hang out with them, you may have had a few fun moments, but do you come home feeling discouraged, humiliated, or insecure? Is this because of something they frequently say or do? If so, it may just be that you have a toxic friend. So do you see any of these signs in your friendships? It's best to either openly discuss these concerns with them or think about letting them go as a friend. Do you see these signs in yourself? If so, know that change is possible. Work towards correcting any negative behavior you recognize in yourself. It may just be a small step you have to take first. Then, when you recognize and genuinely apologize for your wrongdoing, your friendship may have a good chance to get back on track. Sooner or later, you may get back to a real friendship. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to click the like button and share it with your real friends. Subscribe to Psych2Go and hit the notification bell icon for more content like this. As always, thanks for watching.
Yeah, so that's the video. Almost press the wrong button. Any comments or anything anyone noticed about that video? Shallow. Okay.
Go on, bro. Well, I'm a bit low. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. It might just be my phone.
No, I think it's me. I'm a bit far away from my microphone. I was gonna say, yeah, there's one part of that video that that's also I disagree, but I think when it was talking about is your friend overly critical, where I think that I believe that a good friend will tell you things you don't want to hear and won't always agree with you. That might be misunderstood as overly critical, but if that person's interested in my life, you know, they don't agree with everything I'm saying, that's actually not always a bad thing because at least they're gonna say what they're thinking rather than just, what I mean, allow you to sin. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. She did say you do have friends that they give constructive criticism. So
Yeah,
she balanced that out. She balanced that out. So I get what you're saying.
yeah. I've
But
seen that,
yeah,
but I was just thinking that sometimes you might misunderstand that person being critical as overly critical because you are gonna have friends that are gonna tell you about yourself, and it might be hard to hear. But I just think that you've got to have people around me that will tell me about myself. I don't always see that as a bad thing. At least I know
yeah,
that they're gonna tell me the truth in it. And even if I don't agree, at least I know I've heard the truth. Rather than having a yes man, that's my point. Is
yeah,
having yes men or yes women around you not good. You want people that even to a point where he said there, I'm sure it's in scripture where it says like that some friends are for a season or for an occasion.
yeah,
You know, when it's going good, but you need to be able to go to somebody and and like say to your friend, argument's sake, what do you really think of me? Am I you know a good friend or am I overly this? What can I work on? You know,
yeah,
and you should be able to do that. Speak to someone who's close to you and ask them that. And you might not like what they hear, but you should ask it because it'll be a good reflection of you. Do you know what I mean? You might
yeah.
not agree, but definitely that should be done. So
Yeah, great point from the brother Peter, man. Great points. Plural. Anyone else who got anything to say about the video? Anything about the topic, no respect to persons, part 2? Before we continue back to the scriptures, and then eventually with a couple more videos.
Shalom, King.
Hello, Uncle.
Yeah, I've got a little point on it. Basically, piggyback off Captain Peter said. Shalom, Captain Peter.
Show
Basic Shalom, brother. Basically, coming back off of our captain is basically I've got this seasonal friend. Now, a seasonal friend is not really is next to no friend. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
So, because if only they come up anytime in the season, it's kind of then if they're picking and choosing when to be your friend, which is kind of like they're upfront about themselves, thinking I don't have to keep talking to this guy only when it suits me, type of thing. When you never know, that brother could be in a situation. You know what I mean?
mm,
Regardless of where the season is. You know what I mean? Whatever season it is, you know what I mean? Like, for example, because all of us in the fold, we gotta look out for each other consistently, regardless of what season it is. You know what I mean?
good.
Because all of us remember one friend because obviously we are in a spiritual battle, and if we don't look after each other, some of us are gonna get catch.
Mm, sure, sure. Mighty point from the brother Maccabee. But you have to make sure you got that right person around you, the right people around you, man. Right? And you are not a respected person, and they're not a respected person. And if you see them doing any type of partiality, any type of favoritism toward another brother over another brother, you have to check them. Right? Do it a calm way, right? Do it stern, put them to the side, whichever ways you want to do it openly. There's different ways to do it. The scriptures say a open rebuke is better than a secret love. Right? Paul openly rebuked Peter, right? Because he was showing favoritism around the Jews or around the Gentiles over the Jews, right? But when he was sitting with the Gentiles, the Jews came and he kind of separated himself from them, right? So Paul kind of rebuked them in front of everyone. But then there's also different rebukes where you can rebuke them privately also as well. But yeah, there's just different ways to do it. It's a balance in everything. Um, cool. So anyone else got any comments about the video? Anything they want to say about the video or the lesson? Darren, we can go back to James chapter 2. Go back to James chapter 2. James 2 and verse 3.
Book of James, chapter 2, and verse 3. And ye have respect to him that weareth the gay clothing, and say unto him, Sit thou here in a good place, and say to the poor, Stand thou there, or sit here under my footstool.
Read.
Verse 4. Are you not then partial in yourselves, and are become judges of evil thoughts?
Yeah, so if you want to be a partial person or show partiality regarding brethren or sistren, with the respect of gay clothing, meaning like good clothing, right? And say unto him, sit there or sit in good place, and then the poor say, stand there or sit there under my footstool, meaning now you're showing a hierarchy. That's an evil thought, man, right? You can't be doing these things. I actually want to put that up in the GMT, and I'll put it up on the screen. Give me 1 second. James chapter 2, was it verse 3? Then I'm going to read the actual meaning of being a respected person, the biblical meaning. So was that James 2 and 3, TNT.
Are you sharing the screen, brother?
Yeah, I'm going to share the screen now. Share the screen. Time screen. Okay, there we are. There we are. Kind of focus on that. Can I figure it out for me?
Book of James, chapter 2, and verse 3. If you show more respect to the well-dressed man, and say to him, Have this best seat here, what say to the poor man, stand over there, or sit here on the floor by my feet. Verse 4. Then you are guilty of creating distinctions amongst yourself and making judgments based on evil motives.
See that? You're making judgment based on evil motives. Right? Can't have no evil motives in your head, right? Because someone's well dressed, over than someone who might not be well dressed. Hey, that brother or sister might be fasting. Right? They might just be out quickly, kind of going to the shop, maybe to get some toiletry or whatever the case may be, right? Or get something for their family, go in and out, and you might see them. I'm not going to salute this brother or sister, man. What they're wearing, man. We're meant to be dressed in fly. We're meant to be the salt of the earth, right? Hey, there's a time and place for everything. Right? A time and place for everything. Let's go back to James chapter 2 and verse 5.
James chapter 2 and verse 5. Hearken, my beloved brethren. Have not God chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom, which he hath promised to them that love him?
Yeah, you know,
Verse 6. But ye have despised the poor. Do not rich men oppress you and draw you before the judgment seats?
yeah. So when you're despising poor people, you have to remember people that are over you, they're bringing you into the same type of thing. So basically, you're doing to others what you don't like to be done to yourself, basically, whether it be the other nations or your own people, right? And this is why it's expedient to love your brothers yourself. Whatever you want done for yourself, do to your brother, right? Wherever it may be, right? This is why it's easier. Well, that's going into the rich man, but it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter the kingdom. Also, a man that just loves himself is prideful, he's going to be destroyed in destruction, right? You're worrying about who's this and who's that and who's got the best this and the best that. You're having evil motives, as it says in the G&T. Or is that James chapter 2, verse 3? Right? Can't be doing these things. These things are not godly things. These things are not things that we're taught from young, even of our parents to do, right? If you had a good upbringing, man, right? And let's go back to the precepts. Let me get the book of Second Chronicles chapter 19 and verse 7. Second Chronicles 19 and verse 7. And it's easier said than done, man. That's what you got to practice, 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 practice. Whatever you're falling short in is practice. None of us are perfect, right? All righteousness is like filthy rags, as the scriptures say. And we all fall short of the kingdom, as the scriptures also say. So we just have to try and do the best we can do.
Book of
Just try
Second
and
Chronicles, chapter 19, chapter 19 and verse 7. Wherefore now let the fear of the Lord be upon you. Take heed and do it, for there is no iniquity with the Lord our God, nor respect of persons, nor taking of gifts.
whoa, that's it, innit? Do case closed. No respect to persons with your power or power, or taking of gifts. You can't bribe the Most High, right? So how much more should we be bribed by other men? Oh, just turn a blind eye, man. Yeah, I ran over that person, but just turn a blind eye, man. Right? If he was a judge or whatever the case may be, or if he was an eyewitness, I'll pay you off, man. To say that he ran in the road and weren't looking, right? Yeah, I pay 100,000, man. No, right? No money can make me go off, man, and lie, right? No money. That means you can be bought. That means you can be sold. But Christ already died for our sins. He already bought us, right? That's how we knew we wasn't slaves in the slavery time. But let's go into something else. But yeah, we could never be bought. We could never be sold, man. Right? Don't sell yourself short. Don't be taking gifts, right? To have injustice, man, against your own people. Right? And there's no respect to persons with the Most High, so we can't have respect to persons. Right. Then we get the book of Sirach, chapter 35 and verse 12, when they're going to pull up the account with Peter and Paul, when Peter was sitting with the Gentiles and saw the Jews and then separate himself from them. Right. We're going to get that after. You kind of find a new precepts as we go along. It's part two. Praise the Most High. So Sirach 35 and verse 12. Sirach 35 and 12.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 35 and verse 12. Do not think to corrupt with gifts, for such he will not receive, and trust not to unrighteous sacrifices, for the Lord is a judge, and with him is no respect of persons.
With him as well?
No respect of persons.
Yeah. And with the Most High is no respect of persons. Let's go straight into Galatians chapter 2 and verse 11. Galatians got a new precept, bro. Jeez, all praise to the Most High. Got a new precept to add to the arsenal.
Galatians chapter 2 and verse 11. But when Peter was come to Antioch, I withstood him to the face, because
And
he
then
was.
what? Hold on. What did Paul do?
I withstood him to the face,
Right.
because
Hopefully
he
not behind his back. Not say, oh yeah, Peter done this, and kind of gossiping and talking and making it be known that he done something. No, he came to his face and withstood him to his face. Right, come on.
because he was to be blamed.
Because he has to be what?
Blamed.
Hey, sometimes you have to be blamed, man. You just got to take the rebuke, right? You kind of went off, you kind of done something, and it is what it is. If it's not done secretly, it might be done openly. And it is, you just have to take on the chin. Sometimes you got to take on the chin, man. What do they say? Hard love is the best love sometimes. Tough love, they call it. Right? Hey, sometimes you just got to take that tough love, man. It just is what it is, man. Nanny might have gave you tough love because she just loved you. Sometimes you weren't getting it the soft way, so you have to get the tough way, man. Same with your brethren, same with your sister. Come on.
Verse 12. For before that certain came from James, he did eat with the Gentiles, but when they were come, he withdrew and separated himself, fearing them which were of the
Sorry,
circumcision.
brother. Can you just reload the whole thing?
From 11.
This is the definition, or this is a good example, because we're going to get the definition in a minute. This is a good example of having or being a respected person in the scriptures, right? Which I just got a new precept now. I'm not ashamed to say. All praise to the Most High. What did you say, Brother Darren?
From 11 or from verse 12?
Yeah, from 11. From 11. Let's get the account again from the top. He's telling what happened. He's letting us know how he done this and what he done and XYZ, and we're going to hear it all.
Book of Galatians chapter 2 and verse 11. But when Peter was come to Antioch, I withstood him to the face, because he was to be blamed. Verse 12. For before that certain came from James, he did eat with the Gentiles, but when they were come, he withdrew and separated himself, fearing them which were of the circumcision.
What verse you at now, Kim?
13. And the other Jews dissembled likewise with him, insomuch that Barnabas also was carried away with their dissimulation.
Come on.
Verse 14. But when I saw that they walked not uprightly, according to the truth of the gospel, I said unto Peter before them all, if thou, being a Jew, livest after the manner of the Gentiles, and not as do the Jews, why compellest thou the Gentiles to live as do the Jews?
So basically, cut a long story short, he's calling him a hypocrite, yeah? Because you're saying one thing to the Jews, but then when you're around the Gentiles, you're acting like this. But then when you see the Jews and you're around the Gentiles, you're separating yourself from them, basically. So another way to say that is basically when you actually pull it up, you can actually get the commentary as well. Paul's rebuke, Paul challenged Peter before them all, arguing that if a Jew believer lives like a Gentile, ignoring the dietary laws, he could not compel Gentiles to live like the Jews. So basically, if you're saying one thing to one set of people, bearing in mind we're all the same people, right? You've got the Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom. You've got some Jews that are living like Gentiles, right? And you've got some Jews that see Gentiles and scorn from them. So if you're sitting among the Gentiles and you see a Jew and you separate yourself, but then you're telling that Gentile to live as a Jew, you're being a contrary to yourself. You're not showing that you even comfortable or even want to be around this Gentile who is of your own nation, basically. So he's calling him a hypocrite and saying this is you shouldn't be doing these things. You shouldn't be acting like this, right? And the whole conflict was when Peter, right, whose name is Cephas, another name, ate with Gentile converts, the people that were Israelites, but they converted, right? They came and they accepted Christ, right? And acknowledging equal status with Christ, right? When the Jews came now, right, from James and arrived, Peter stopped this practice to avoid criticism from the Jews, basically, causing other Jews, believers, not to or to follow his hypocritical example. So now other Jews will see Peter moving himself from the Gentiles and say, yeah, I think that's what we're meant to do. And that's why when you go down to verse, where is it? Verse 13, that even Barnabas also was carried away with their dissimulation, right? Because if you see one person who might be as a high rank or someone that's very well known in the scriptures or knows what's going on and they act in a certain type of way, most people are just going to follow. Even Barnabas was carried away with it, right? And that's why Paul had to openly rebuke him in front of everyone, basically, to cut a long story short. So that just shows another account of being a respected persons. And brothers can read the summary and the commentary on their own as well. Just type it in. Paul rebukes Peter at Antioch. I think that's it on that. Brother. No, sorry. Read verse 15 as well. Verse 15.
Verse 15. We who are Jews by nature and not sinners of the Gentiles.
Okay, that's it. So yeah, we're Jews by nature and not sinners of the Gentiles, meaning the other nations. Right. So yeah, all praise to the Most High. How much more precepts? Okay, I've got a few more precepts left. Let's get Job 37 and 24. Job 37 and 24.
This is the book of Job, chapter 37 and verse 24. Men do therefore fear him. He respecteth not any that are wise of heart.
Read that again for the top.
Job 37 verse 24. Men do therefore fear him. He respecteth not any that are wise of heart.
God, again, because you're wise in this world or wise in the scriptures, it doesn't ultimately get you respect above another brother in respect as you being treated more differently, another brother being treated very badly. Right? It shouldn't be like that. Yeah, we have elders, we have brothers that are scribes, we have brothers that know the Hebrew, brothers that know the scriptures, brothers that know uh, geography, right, and archaeology and everything like that. All everything to do with scriptures, right? Give them a certain level of respect, but you don't put your brother way down just because that brother's around, right? And you kind of blanking your brother and turning your back to your brother to be around this other brother that might be perceived as someone who's a pillar, right? And Paul actually talks quite a bit about that in the scriptures as well, that men that perceive themselves to be something, but he said, hey, these men mean nothing to me. I don't know what they think they are, but it doesn't mean nothing to me, right? The Most I didn't just call one person, right? Called many brethren and sistren as well. You got prophets and you got prophetesses, right? Habakkuk actually fed Daniel in the lion's den, man. When you read the Apocrypha, right? When the angel translated him from one place, to Babylon, and then translated him back, meaning teleported him. Let's go back to. I want to go back to Galatians 2. I want to hit that one more time. But I want to get in the GNT. Right. I want to get in the GNT. Okay, go. You see the screen, brother Darren?
Come.
If you need me to zoom this time.
Book of Galatians chapter 2 and verse 11. But when Peter came to Antioch, I opposed him in public because he was clearly wrong. Before some men who had been sent by James arrived there, Peter had been eating with the Gentiles believers. But after these men arrived, he drew back and would not eat with the Gentiles because he was afraid of those who were in favor of circumcising them.
Good. Come on.
Verse 13. The other Jewish believers also started acting like cowards along with Peter, and even Barnabas was swept along by their cowardly action. Verse 14. When I saw that they were not walking a straight path in line with the truth of the gospel, I said to Peter in front of them all, "You are a Jew, yet you have been living like a Gentile, not like a Jew. How, then, can you try to force Gentiles to live like Jews?"
Whoa. That's hey. Paul definitely wasn't a respecter of persons, you know. Remember, Peter's the pillar of the church, you know. Christ gave him the keys, right? He rebuked him in front of everyone. He said in front of them all, right? So yeah, we can't be afraid to think, oh, if I act like this or if I'm around this person, other people are gonna see me, right? Hey, because they were sent from James, right? The Jews seeing Peter with the Gentiles, and he's just perceiving, oh, maybe they're gonna think of me this type of way, right? No, this is not how we conduct ourselves as Israelites. Right? So that's all I want to get on that, Darren. I just want to get another.
Like it, brother.
Oh,
So
so like,
in that verse here, when Peter is with the Gentiles, yeah, that's the Gentiles, that's the Israelites in the Gentile state of mind. Is that correct?
calm,
Calm. Okay.
calm. Because remember, it says, where does, hold on, so, said, been eating with the Gentile believers, but after these men arrived, the men from the circumcision, men that are Jews that are already just living like Jews, right, and they knew the commandments, right? Peter was around people that are newly believers, right? And then when he saw the other people that are already, like, say, on his level, just below him, he drew away from the people that are newly believers, thinking that, being afraid of what they might say, basically. So kind of like a hierarchy and whatnot. They might say something or whatever the case may be, right? But yeah, Paul said that straight, man, because if you're acting that type of way, you're not living like a Jew, but then you're telling the Gentiles to live like a Jew. So being basically a hypocrite, and you're showing respect to persons, thinking that someone's going to say something just because you're around these people that are newly believers, basically. God. Right, seeing as we're on this now, I might as well get the actual meaning of respect to persons. Uh, hold on one second. Uh, you can read that for me, brother Darren. I've got it written down, but I thought it might as well as let everyone else see it as well. Okay. It says respect to persons, biblical meaning.
In the King James Version, respect of persons means showing favoritism, partiality, or bias towards someone based on external factors like wealth, social status, or appearance rather than their character. It signifies judging by outward appearances, which the Bible condemns as unjust and contrary to God's nature.
Yeah, that's what I had written down, but that's I believe you had got a bit more, you had a bit more or a bit less. So I'm gonna read what they didn't write there, which I wrote down when I done my also research as well. So respect to persons and meanings, showing favoritism, same thing we just read there. Partiality, just read there, based on wealth, status, or appearance, rather than judging fairly, which is condemned as a sin for both people and contrary to God's nature, as Acts 10 and 34. Right, and I believe we had that in part one, Acts 10 and 34. Actually, no, we actually didn't have that. Yeah, no, we didn't. So yeah, we can bring out that's another new precept again, Acts 10 and 34. But before we get that, I actually want to bring something else out as well regarding respect to persons. Yeah, I want to get John 7 and 24. So before we get anything else, I'm gonna get John 7:24. I might as well leave the screen like that. Put do not disturb. Do not disturb. Leave the screen. Okay. So let's get John 7:24, I believe.
The book of John, chapter 7 and verse 24. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment.
Yeah. So you got to judge righteous judgment, not according to appearance, which could lead into you being a respecter of persons or showing respect of persons. Right? We're not supposed to be respecter of persons. These are not godly things. These are not righteous things. It sounds like I'm saying the same thing over and over and over again, but there's only so many ways you can say it, and it's straight to the point. Like the Hebrew tongue, straight to the point. Hey, do not be a respecter of persons. The Most High is not dealing with respect to persons and doesn't even show respect to persons, and neither does Yahweh, who's the son of the Most High. Oh yeah, that's what I called Acts. Let's get Acts 10:34. Well, I had it written down, but I didn't. So,
Book of Acts, chapter 10 and verse 34. Then Peter opened his mouth and said, of a truth, I perceive that God is no respecter of persons.
so it is saying the same thing over and over through the Old Testament, through the New Testament. Most High is not respect to persons. Let's get it one more time, King.
Book of Acts, chapter 10 and verse 34. Then Peter opened his mouth and said, of a truth, I perceive that God is no respecter of persons.
Most High is not respect of persons. Right, we're going to get into a video where I just write down this new precept I just got. All praise the Most High. Hey, I'm learning as well. You know, Darren, you know. Not just me like bringing out precepts and I'm finding new precepts. Right, I'm looking. Hold on, did I have Acts 10:34? No, I didn't even have that. Did I have this? No, I didn't even have that. Adding it to the arsenal. Right, I'm learning, boy. Hey, the Most High is teaching me right now, man. Right, all praise to the Most High. We're gonna get the next video as well. I'm just trying to triple check to see if I didn't write this precept. I didn't write it. Right? Didn't write, but actually, all praise to the Most High. I did. It's actually there. So all praise to the Most High. But I did get a previous precept which I didn't write, and I added that to the arsenal. All right, so let's get the video now. Also, John 7:24. I didn't have that, so that's another one to add to it. Let's get this video up now. Oh, yeah. Which one? I've just done that. Let's do this one now. Forgot I need to put a sound on.
Do you want to know the secret to how we keep our home and our marble clean and smelling incredible? Introducing Purdium Fig.
Or the funnier brother better than the other? Favorites, let's be honest. When it comes to our kids, we all have our favorites. You may not admit it out loud, but there is always that one preferred choice. We've seen it before, parents who seem to treat the younger sister or the funnier brother better than the others. How does favoritism affect a child though? What does favoritism actually do? And how can we be better parents when it comes to favoritism? Before we move on, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more parenting videos like this. A recent study revealed that as many as 85% of adults are aware that their parents have favorites when it came to their siblings. As much as every mother will say that they love all their children the same, studies prove that it is very normal for favoritism to happen at home. So why do parents actually favor one child over another? Rest easy, it's no one's fault. The main cause of having a favorite is sometimes because we have to. Evidence and experience tells us that the youngest child usually becomes the favorite simply because they need more time and attention. The youngest child in the family typically needs more attention from mommy and daddy in everything that they do. Help! The baby needs help eating. Help! Baby wants to play. This doesn't just happen with the parents, but between siblings as well, with younger siblings or newborns becoming favorites simply because they need the extra time and care from everyone, big brother and sister included. The same thing happens when a child has a chronic illness or even disabilities. They need our help, so more attention is given to them. There are many reasons why parents tend to favor one child over the others. This could be simply due to similarities in preferences or interests between a parent and a child. Think about it. It's fairly natural for a father and a son to share more time together if they both love the same sport or, say, enjoy fishing together. This often creates deeper bonds simply out of their shared hobbies. Sometimes it could be caused by the temperament or the behavior of a child. There are periods of development where children tend to be more gentle and reasonable, whereas there are times when kids become more rebellious and bad-tempered. Parents and siblings naturally want to be in the presence of a child who is more well-mannered and easygoing. In fact, personality is one of the main factors that causes favoritism. As personalities within a family age, grow, and change, relationships between parents and children will shift even more. This will in turn cause parents to treat each child differently simply because different personalities develop into different behaviors towards each other. External factors are also big contributors to favoritism. Financial stress, possible conflict between mom and dad, and mental health challenges can cause any favoritism to become more obvious. But what if favoritism is something that happens all the time? Should we worry about it? Yes! Although treating each sibling differently is part and parcel of parenting, like many things, it can also develop into an unhealthy and harmful relationship for both the parent and the child if we are not careful. Favoritism that is harmful is usually the type that is evident and marked. When parents demonstrate obvious favoritism and special treatment towards one sibling, tension can arise and develop in the other siblings. When one sibling notices more favor going to the other, division usually occurs between the siblings. In mild cases, tension will develop and cause the siblings to distance themselves, usually because of resentment. The same resentment can also result in distance between parent and the unfavored child, especially if their discipline is biased against the unfavored child. In severe cases, the unfavored child may develop deep resentment and choose to vent it in anger or other negative emotions towards the parents or favorite sibling. In the long term, as the unfavored child grows up, he or she may develop mental health challenges. Due to a lack of affirmation and affection in their childhood, it's extremely common that this child will later seek out affection from other sources, such as friends or potential partners in their adulthood. Surprisingly, treating each sibling differently may also cause depression in both the favored and unfavored children. How? A lack of affection and affirmation will challenge the self-value of the unfavored child, possibly developing into depression or a lack of self-esteem and self-worth. On the other hand, the favored child may also develop mental health challenges, as he or she may feel pressured to keep up with their favorite child status by continually performing well in what is expected by their parents. So, what can we do to curb this? Simply put, awareness, listening and affirmation, and time together. The first step, awareness. As a parent, we can always do a self-check. Are we being biased in our language and actions towards one child over another? We might not even be aware of this until we ask other people about it, our parents, our friends, or even a specialist. But becoming aware of whether we are in fact doing this or not is an important first step. The second step, listening and affirmation. One way we can overcome favoritism is simply by listening. Listen to every one of your children, individually. By affirming to each of our kids that they have a safe space to be heard, we can help them understand that their thoughts and feelings are valid and valuable to us. Sometimes it is a matter of sharing with your child why different treatments are needed. It may be because of age. Perhaps one is a teenager and the other may still be in kindergarten. they cannot be expected to be treated the same way. Helping them to see this might be a way of getting everyone on the same page and to show more understanding to each other. The third step, time together. No matter how different our kids are, what is most important is that they get personal, one-on-one time with their parents. Giving each child your undivided time is the best way to ensure there are no marked favorites in your family. There will be periods of time or seasons in life where you will need to put in more time for one child over another, but that should not stop us from being aware of our actions and putting in the effort needed to make sure that each child still gets the attention and affirmation they need. So the next time you catch yourself talking to one of your kids with a different tone compared to another, it may be a good time for a self-reflection and self-check, just to see if we do indeed have favorites between our kids, and if so, readjust our treatment of and time spent with each of our children. If you feel that this video has helped you in one way or another, do share it with other parents so that they too can become more aware of this important topic. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our channel because we will be launching new informative parenting videos every week. See you next time!
How about that?
Yeah, so it's just another look of favoritism and being respected persons among children. Anyone got any comments on anything they saw in the video and they'd like to share, or anything in general about the lesson?
To work it, me again.
Can't. No one else got anything else. Is just Peter gonna comment on the videos?
Yeah,
Go on,
anybody
go on.
else?
Go on. No, it's alright, go on.
Alright, go on. Yeah, with the what the video was referring to, a bit of a, I'd say the nicest way I can put it, it's a bit of a tricky one because you see, scripture now. It says in Genesis 25, I believe, 28. So Genesis 25 and 28. Can someone read that, please? Anyone?
Go on. Genesis 25 and 28.
Actually, read from verse 27.
Book of Genesis chapter 25 and verse 27. And when the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. 28. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob.
All right, then. So you see that, right? The tricky thing with this video is saying not to have respect to persons amongst your children, but Isaac and Rebekah, they had their preferences. One preferred Esau because obviously he's bringing home the meat, and then one prefers, obviously Rebekah preferred Jacob. I believe that's because the Most High gave her a little inkling as to which one was gonna end up ruling. But either way, they both have preferences. And the situation we got is in the prayer of Manasseh. I'll read it. It says, the snippet in it, it says, "O Lord, that art the God of the just, has not appointed repentance to the just, as to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which have not sinned against thee." So in the prayer of Manasseh in the Apocrypha, it shows us that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, preferably, namely Isaac in this scenario, never sinned, but he preferred Esau. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit of a tricky one, to be fair. Um, I would say it's a bit of a tricky one, and then obviously being a but also fathers of many children, you can look back and people can say, "Oh yeah, you preferred this child or you preferred that child." You probably didn't in your head. You probably thinking, "Nah, treat them all equal." But then other people can look at your parents and go, "Nah, nah, you preferred that child." Do you know what I mean? So it's a tricky one with that video because I'm not sure if that's respect of persons. I think it's just something some parents just can't avoid. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, I love my playing.
Yeah,
What other brothers
yeah,
think about
come.
that?
So what do other brothers think? I'm gonna give my point of view after.
Khan, Salakia, Kwame Asharala. And
All praise the Most High.
yeah, yeah, Kings, man. That's a good point, Peter, man. But then I just thought about it after you said what you just said, that obviously Esau was the first son, isn't it? So maybe it's that. But again, it's probably is just because of the meat in it. He's just bringing him all the meat. That's why he loves him more. And Jacob's still in the house more. So I'm not saying like a mummy's boy, but like you're chilling around mums and that. All praise to the Most High, man.
Good, good, good. Yeah, there's many ways to look at it, the video. Anyone else got anything to say before I land? Say what I want to say. Bro,
Nah,
Darren, come with
yeah,
me.
yeah. I was just
Okay.
gonna say that because even like my wife, like she would say that I favor my eldest daughter more than my youngest. But as
Mm,
Peter said that, me on the inside, I don't see it as that. I just see it as, if you do something right, you're gonna know about it. If you do something wrong, you're gonna know about it. And I feel like my
good.
youngest is a bit more naughty, I should I say, than my eldest.
Mm,
So it may look like I'm favoring my eldest, but I'm not. And I'm just, if you follow the rules, you're gonna get blessed. If you don't follow the rules, you're gonna get, But yeah, I just think looking on the outside, it might seem like, oh, one is getting favored more than the other, but to me, I just think nice. It's all equal.
okay. Well, the definition, have you read, of respect to person is showing partiality or favoritism toward one over the other. With the children thing, obviously, it can be a bit different and a bit um like technical because you're at different ages when you're raising these children from the youngest, as you said, to the oldest. You was younger when you had your oldest daughter. Now you're older when you have your youngest daughter. You're gonna obviously parent the youngest one different than you would the oldest one when they were both at the same age. So, end of the day, what we need to understand is that with children, it's not going to be exactly the same. As we know, Joseph had sorry, not Joseph, Jacob had a favorite son, which was Joseph, right? He had the magical colored jacket. Joseph actually had a favorite son, right? And then obviously had the baby, which was Benjamin, right? As we know about Genesis, right, which is spiritual anyway, right? Isaac didn't favor one, but obviously Rebecca did. She was told the promise, right? But when you actually listen to the video, when you actually watch the video, the lady gives two different points. She said sometimes you could be because you got interest in like sports with the one child, so obviously you can be around the other child more than you would be around the other child. But she did round up and say, look, you got to balance it, right? You got to actually balance it out because when you balance it out now, it's gonna kind of more or less be the same. If not, you're gonna have a resentment on both sides. One's gonna always feel like they need to be the person that's always triumphing, and the other one's gonna always feel like they're gonna be like not enough. So you have to try and balance out as much as you can to try and get that level of balance. Basically, the best way I can put it with children is tricky, but 100% you can be a respected person with children because you cannot know what you're doing and know what you're doing with another child and say, okay, cool, I'm definitely showing more leniency with this child than the other one. Even if you don't know what you're doing, you have to check yourself sometimes as well. Give the same grace with one child you would with the other. Right? And it varies again with genders and ages. So with children it's tricky. But yeah, has anyone else got anything else I want to say about the video? Oh,
Khan King.
go King.
Yeah,
I'm actually gonna play
basically.
that video again, I don't know if brothers missed it, but yeah, the lady
Yeah,
did balance it out. She did balance it out and say, look, there's a there's a there's a time where you have to kind of level it out. Right? You might have your interests in certain things, and that's why you might be around that child more. But you have to level it out, and we have to understand we take the meat from the bone. Right? This lady's not in the truth; she doesn't know certain things. We understand that Israelites are the chosen above all of the people on the earth. We're all God's children. At the end of the day, His chosen people, the children actually of God, are the Israelites. Right? We might all might be God's creation. Let me say that a better way. But the chosen people, the children of God, God's children are the Israelites, pertaining to Romans 9. So there is favoritism, and the Most High does have favoritism. But at
So
the
like,
same time, one second, at the same time,
yeah,
if
yeah.
we was to make a swear, if we was to promise to the other nations something and not do it, the Most High actually will punish us for promising in His name to the other nations. Right? So there is balance as well, and there is being um, just as well, even living just and peaceable among all nations as well. I'm actually going to get a precept proving that as well. So don't think that, oh, yeah, the Most High loves me above everyone else, but I'm going to make a promise in the name of the Most High and then not keep it because now you're taking the name of the Most High in vain and you're not living justly, right? That's pertaining to David who slept with Bathsheba, um, and the man that his wife he slept with wasn't even an Israelite, but it don't matter, he still committed adultery, right? And pertaining to Joseph as well. So it's a thin line regarding certain things. We are the chosen, but we have to live justly. Brother Maccabee.
Yeah, top of the subject of favoritism was in Genesis. Do you remember the verse where I think when Abel gave God an offering, and then he asked Cain for his offering, but he favored, but Yahweh favored Cain's offering, and then obviously Cain looked at that and said, "Huh? Why are you favoring him more than me? What's wrong with my offering?"
Mm.
So, and then obviously now later on, you know what happened? Cain killed Abel, you know, because of jealousy, because
Yeah,
he found that okay, he favored he favored my gift more than he favored his gift more than mine. All right, then I'm gonna take it back. Then when he was confronted by Howard Shah, he said, "Where's your brother? Where's your brother? Where's your brother?" Jake Kane to that I don't know, you know. You get me. And then obviously he's screaming, his blood is on the ground and he's screaming under the altar, and obviously now he was cursed to live in the wilderness because obviously of the slaughter. So
yeah,
it can breed some sort of of red of the evil eye, but it depend but in that situation it's probably a different situation, you understand?
yeah,
So
there is.
so it's a different. So that's one thing that sprung up to mind with the subject.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
So it's kind of
But
like
you see the
what?
thing, not to cut you off just quickly, you see the thing with
Yeah.
Cain and Abel, yeah? Cain actually offered sacrifices to the Most High that wasn't required, right? Abel was offering the right sacrifices, but Cain was like a rebellious one. But even within saying that anyway, it's still favoritism because obviously the Most High chose Abel over Cain, but it's all ordained from the beginning if you want to go deep into it. But yeah, there's many accounts of favoritism, right, in the scriptures, right, of one people over another people. But go on, brother.
So yeah. So that's how. So that comes that sprung to mind when when Yahweh Shai, obviously he's the father. So Yahweh is the father, and said, okay, I prefer Abel's offering over Cain's. And I'm like, okay, and Cain, like, okay, all right then. Okay, I said, all right then. So when obviously when not looking, it's a slaughter. It's a slaughter. And then
Mm,
obviously he's asking, where's thou brother? Oh, am I my brother's keeper? And then obviously
mm,
Cain's underneath the altar screaming, and then obviously Cain's lived to curse in the wilderness. But reflecting that of today's society, this is where us our community needs to stop look at others. He got better clothes than me, so I'm gonna take his life. Remember, we're all brothers and sisters in this, you know what I mean? Because obviously other nations don't do what we do, you know what I mean, as a collective, you know what I mean. We don't show that same brotherly love to that extent, you know what I'm saying, as other nations.
okay, okay.
Uh,
And I actually want to get that account as well. Just quickly, brother Darren. Can you get for me quickly Genesis 4 and verse 5?
Go on.
Genesis 4 and 5. Just to prove what the brother was saying about Cain and Abel. And then I believe Peter had something to say after.
Done.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 4 and verse 5. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. Verse
Come on.
6. And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? Verse 7. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him.
Yeah, so his offering wasn't accepted because it wasn't done well. If you jump back to verse 4, let's see what what Abel actually offered and why it was perceived and why it was well, and Cain's wasn't. Cain probably offered up something with like one eye, maimed. Most I know if what he offered up, but whatever he offered up wasn't well, and that's why the Most I didn't accept that. But
Yeah,
on a deeper level, as I said,
I put the fruit in the ground.
so like it as a deep on a deeper level. I forgot much what I was gonna say. On a deeper level, Abel always was going to be chosen anyway, because all things are written from the beginning, right? Not just because okay, because he done this, he done that, or maybe Cain could have offered up what Abel offered up, right? It was all ordained anyway, right? So even within that, there's still favoritism because Cain was just moved to not offer the right thing, and Abel was, right? Read verse 4 again.
Book of Genesis chapter 4 and verse 4. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, and the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel, and to his offering.
Mm. Yeah, so most high respect unto his offering. I believe Peter was referring to verse 3. You can read verse 3 as well.
Verse
To
3.
get the full context, really everyone just read from verse 1, but for sake of time, let's just read from verse 3.
Verse 3. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord.
Read. So he brought the fruit of the ground offering unto the Lord. And what did Abel bring?
And Abel, he also brought the firstlings of his flock, and the fat thereof.
Come on. And the fat thereof, come on.
And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering.
I remember the offering, you offer up the fat, right? It can be with the lamb, right? Whatever the case may be, of a clean animal, you offer up, right? But Cain didn't offer that up. And
So
he
is
knew
it
the law. This is the thing. Cain
so
knew the law.
yeah,
I'm not going to offer up my flock, man, and the fat thereof. That's for me to eat. These times is for the offering for the Most High, you know. So him being wroth, he knows what he done was wrong, and he still wants to be angry. And that's why when you go to verse 7, the Moses said, "If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted, and if thou doest not well, then sin lieth at the door." Right? It's required to offer up a sacrificial offering. Right? We know the ultimate
Salakia.
offering. One second, King. We know the ultimate offering is Yahweh Shai, man, who offered up his body. So we ain't got to offer up any lambs or any cows or anything like that, right? Because Christ is the ultimate offering. 1 second, you're out on that. Peter had something you want to say.
Now let Yaradan go. Yaradan, you go ahead, my brother. I'll go.
Dwada. Quickly, would you take this for like the first fruits? Like they're
Would
keeping
I take
law?
this for the first fruits? What do you mean?
Yeah, because obviously, well, in what we're reading in verse 3, where it says, he brought the first fruit of the ground of the offering. It's like first fruits, the feast we have, isn't it?
But this is the thing. He wasn't required to offer that up though. What Abel offered up was what's required. When you go to the law, you're
That's
meant
what
to
I'm
offer up
saying.
the fat
Yeah,
thereof. So he's not doing what he's meant to be doing. It's not a uh 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 what is it, a drink offering or free will offering. No, you meant to give the fat thereof. Right? And this is
Salakia.
how you know the law was there before we even came to Leviticus, the law was already there. That's why he
Can't.
said that it's from the beginning. Abraham knew to offer up the lamb, right? And the deeper level is meant to offer up Isaac, right? But yeah, all these things are from the beginning anyway. That shows you the law was always there from Genesis. How did Abel know to offer up the fat thereof and the firstlings of his flock?
Uh,
And then the Most High had respect onto that, but didn't have respect onto Cain going to the ground and getting the fruit thereof. Right? How can you give the Most High fruit from the ground compared to the fat thereof and the firstlings of the flock, and try and give it comparison? So yeah, man, we gotta just look deep into the scriptures also as well, man. But what were you gonna say again, Geraldine?
no,
What was
Carl,
that?
you ironed it out, man.
Go on. Yeah, Peter, you're next up.
Pleasure.
Yeah, man. Can't everybody was that was correct with the first fruits, the firstlings. That's correct. Yeah, I was gonna say, regarding the title of the class, in terms of the subject we're talking about, like prospective persons, things like that. I think that like going back to that video, right, that I was talking about before. If we can just go to Genesis 37:3, well, sure.
Go on. We're gonna play that video again.
Yeah. Let's read that scripture.
Book of Genesis, chapter 37 and verse 3. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors.
So what's happening here is we see there where Isaac preferred Esau, Rebecca preferred Jacob, and then we're seeing here now Jacob preferred Joseph. So what I think, right, from what I can see, is that there's a clear difference between like preference, as in like favoritism, so to speak, and then respect of persons. I believe that respect of persons is like making a judgment based on external factors as um, and things like that. But I believe that you know um, preferring another child over another, I don't think that's respect of persons. Otherwise, like you know, Isaac would have been told to sin, or somebody else would have been told to sin, because biblically, if you look at it, Isaac wasn't sinning by preferring or favoring one child over the other. So there must be a difference in understanding regarding respect to person. It must be like based on judgment.
It's on the screen, King.
Yeah, no, I can see it there. See, saying respect of persons means showing
Yeah,
favor,
nothing.
partiality,
Yeah.
bias towards someone based on
Mm,
external factors like
mm.
wealth, social status, appearance, rather than the character. But it must be based on judgment, though. Otherwise, Isaac and Jacob were sinning. You know what I'm saying?
Can I add something?
Go on.
Because I'm reading it and I'm reading it again. Can you put that back on the screen, please?
Yes.
I think the thing that's like sticking out to me is that it's showing favoritism, partiality, or bias towards someone based on external factors like wealth and social status or appearance, which I often feel like people judge me based off my appearance. I've felt it like my whole entire life. And I've always just thought like, can't someone just get to know me though? Like, just get to know my character rather than just judging by the way I look. Because people do it to me all the time. And like, I feel like the difference there is it's saying rather than their character. So when you're seeing like favoritism in the scriptures, it's usually based off of character. So like we said, with Isaac preferring Esau, it was based off of character. With Rebecca preferring Jacob, it was based off of character. Even with Yahweh favoritizing Abel, it was based off of character. The difference here is that some people are showing favoritism based on wealth and like social status and appearance. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think there's anything wrong with someone showing favoritism if it's based on someone's actual character because you can show favoritism. That's like a way of judging almost, but judging righteously, because one person might be evil and the other person is good. So you can favorite the good person and you've done it righteously because it's based off of their character, rather than you prefer someone just because they've got money. And I think that's what the difference is.
Calm. Agreed.
So you can go back to Peter now, and I want to land.
Yeah, calm. I agree. That's what I believe makes more sense. Making a judgment based on, as you said, the character. Otherwise, how would we justify what Jacob and Isaac was doing? So I do believe that even at back to the video, you know, the parents preferring another or favoring another child. Don't believe that's respect to persons. Because I don't believe they're judging the child on wealth, social status, maybe appearance. I don't know. But, yeah, I agree. What you just said there, that would make more biblical sense. It would make the scriptures flow a bit better. Otherwise, yeah, we have to say our forefathers sinned, but I don't think they did.
So the Most High has a favorite. So we know that it's nothing to do with having a favorite, right? But when you read the scriptures, if you have a favorite based on clothing, based on someone acts, or based on you might just favor this person, the scriptures say clearly that that will be a respected person. When you go to the video, we understand this is the Edomite. She's going to say her points. So don't focus too much on what the Edomite's saying. One thing I did say is she rounds it up and says, look, you do want to have a balanced uh, um, upbringing of your children. If you do have favorites, nothing wrong with that. I actually brought up the account what Peter brought up regarding Joseph and Jacob and the magical or the different colored jacket. So that was beautiful. He brought up that precept. With respect to that, we're going to go back to the video. Well, we got to understand the difference between preference and favoritism. So, for respect to person, going back to the lesson again, is not about just having preference. It's about having partiality or being biased towards someone regarding their clothing, or if they got money or something like that, which is a sin. You can't get around it. It goes to the Book of James. If you got respect to person, and if you're saying someone's got gay clothing or got better clothing than someone, or someone's in a better position, and you look at them in a certain type of way, that is a sin. Again, going back to the parenting thing, that's a tricky one because everyone has their different sort of preferences toward their children. And as what Darren says, which I agree with, sometimes your other half or your child's mother could say to you, "Oh, you favor this child more than the other child," and you don't know that you're doing it, and it just might be common nature based on the fact that you're at different ages when you're raising these children. So, I'm going to pull up the definition of preference also as well, so we know the difference between preference and favoritism and partiality, because partiality and preference is two different things, and we know that the Most High has a chosen people, so you can't be wrong to have a favorite. You have a favorite cop, you have a favorite this, but it's then now what are you doing with that favorite pertaining to your brother, right, or pertaining to someone that you like versus someone that you don't like. So we can't confuse certain words. We've got to just read between the lines. And I think what we're doing, we're tripping up over the children thing. Again, the children thing is a tricky one because you have children that act different and they do different things. So regarding the lesson in the video, we're going to watch it again and we're going to take time and then we're going to actually break down the video so we can understand the point that she makes regarding respected persons, which is difficult again with children.
Yes. So like, yeah.
Because one more thing as well, you can just go extra hard on one child over another child, and you're just abusing this child, right? I'm going to get a scripture regarding being a lion in the house. You could actually be a lion in the house just to one child and not to the other child, right? But go on, Kit. You had
I was going to say a good subject. This is a good subject. Well done.
With the children one, it's a bit tricky. But again, we're going to watch the video again. We're going to dissect it this time properly. And we're going to take the meat from the bone. But everything else is just plain. We all understand we can't put a brother over another brother based on clothing, based on favoritism. And what we're going over now and what we're trying to get to the bottom line of now is with the children. We just have to understand that. It's not about anything else, it's about the children. So we need to get down to how can we be someone who shows some favoritism toward the children if you've got more than one child. You're only going to understand this really if you've got more than one child, as pertaining to Brother Darren brother Peter, and everyone else who has more than one child. Right? And even when you go to the story of Joseph, we saw what happened after that. They sold him, innit? Right? So there's nothing wrong with Jacob having a chosen son, but sometimes if you make it too obvious, that can cause harm on the other children also as well. It's not sin what he did, but it caused things to happen. But then again, when you go deeper, Joseph always meant to go through, was meant to go through to ultimately help out Jacob and his brothers anyway. So again, the children side of it is a bit tricky, but we all understand no respect to persons with a brethren and a sister and as adults. Maccabee, do you have something you want to say? You're off me. No? Okay, go on. Right. Watch this video one more time.
Favorites. Let's be honest. When it comes to our kids, we all have our favorites. You may not admit it out loud, but there is always that one preferred choice. We've seen it before. Parents who seem to treat the younger sister or the funnier brother better than the others. How does favoritism affect a child, though? What does favoritism actually do? And how can we be better parents when it comes to favoritism? Before we move on, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more parenting videos like this. A recent study revealed that as many as 85% of adults are aware that their parents had favorites when it came to their siblings. As much as every mother will say that they love all their children the same, studies prove that it is very normal for favoritism to happen at home.
Again, normal for favoritism to happen at home. As pertains to scriptures, Rebecca and Isaac, they all had favorites.
So why do parents actually favor one child over another? Rest easy, it's no one's fault. The main cause of having a favorite is sometimes because we have to. Evidence and experience tells us that the youngest child usually becomes the favorite simply because they need more time and attention. The youngest child in the family typically needs more attention from mommy and daddy in everything that they do. Help! The baby needs help eating. Help! Baby wants to play. This doesn't just happen with the parents, but between siblings as well, with younger siblings or newborns becoming favorites simply because they need the extra time and care from everyone, big brother and sister included. The same thing happens when a child has a chronic illness or even disabilities. They need our help, so more attention is given to them. There are many reasons why parents tend to favor one child over the others. This could be simply due to similarities in preferences or interests between a parent and a child. Think about it, it's fairly natural for a father and a son to share more time together if they both love the same sport or, say, enjoy fishing together.
Anyone got anything to say while we're going through this? Yay, nay? No, let's go.
This often creates deeper bonds simply out of their shared hobbies. Sometimes it could be caused by the temperament or the behavior of a child. There are periods of development where children tend to be more gentle and reasonable, whereas there are times when kids become more rebellious and bad-tempered. Parents and siblings naturally want to be in the presence of a child who is more well-mannered and easygoing. In fact, personality is one of the main factors that causes favoritism. As personalities within a family age, grow, and change, relationships between parents and children will shift even more. This will in turn cause parents to treat each child differently simply because different personalities develop into different behaviors towards each other. External factors are also big contributors to favoritism. Financial stress, possible conflict between mom and dad, and mental health challenges can cause any favoritism to become more obvious. But what if favoritism is something that happens all the time? Should we worry about it? Yes! Although treating each sibling differently is part and parcel of parenting, like many things, it can also develop into an unhealthy and harmful relationship for both the parent and the child if we are not careful. Favoritism that is harmful is usually the type that is evident and marked. When parents demonstrate obvious favoritism and special treatment towards one sibling, tension can arise and develop in the other siblings. When one sibling notices more favor going to the other, division usually occurs between the siblings. In mild cases, tension will develop and cause the siblings to distance themselves, usually because of resentment. The same resentment can also result in distance between parent and the unfavored child, especially if their discipline is biased against the unfavored child. In severe cases, the unfavored child may develop deep resentment and choose to vent it in anger or other negative emotions towards the parents or favorite sibling. In the long term, as the unfavored child grows up, he or she may develop mental health challenges. Due to a lack of affirmation and affection in their childhood, it's extremely common that this child will later seek out affection from other sources, such as friends or potential partners in their adulthood. Surprisingly, treating each sibling differently may also cause depression in both the favored and unfavored children. How? A lack of affection and affirmation will challenge the self-value of the unfavored child, possibly developing into depression or a lack of self-esteem and self-worth. On the other hand, the favored child may also develop mental health challenges, as he or she may feel pressure to keep up with their favorite child status by continually performing well in what is expected by their parents. So, what can we do to curb this? Simply put, awareness, listening and affirmation, and time together. The first step, awareness. As a parent, we can always do a self-check. Are we being biased in our language and actions towards one child over another? We might not even be aware of this until we ask other people about it, our parents, our friends, or even a specialist. But becoming aware of whether we are in fact doing this or not is an important first step. The second step, listening and affirmation. One way we can overcome favoritism is simply by listening. Listen to every one of your children, individually. By affirming to each of our kids that they have a safe space to be heard, we can help them understand that their thoughts and feelings are valid and valuable to us. Sometimes it is a matter of sharing with your child why different treatments are needed. It may be because of age. Perhaps one is a teenager and the other may still be in kindergarten. They cannot be expected to be treated the same way. Helping them to see this might be a way of getting everyone on the same page and to show more understanding to each other. The third step, time together. No matter how different our kids are, what is most important is that they get personal, one-on-one time with their parents. Giving each child your undivided time is the best way to ensure there are no marked favorites in your family. There will be periods of time or seasons in life where you will need to put in more time for one child over another, but that should not stop us from being aware of our actions and putting in the effort needed to make sure that each child still gets the attention and affirmation they need. So the next time you catch yourself talking to one of your kids with a different tone compared to another, it may be a good time for a self-reflection and self-check, just to see if we do indeed have favorites between our kids, and if so, readjust our treatment of and time spent with each of our children. If you feel that this video has helped you in one way or another, do share it with other parents so that they too can become more aware of this important topic. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our channel because we will be launching new informative parenting videos every week. See you next time!
At Wayfair, we deliver, bringing big savings straight.
Let's come out quickly. So now we got a chance to watch it the second time. Do we still have the same views, or is it me watching something different? Darren, why they're contemplating on that? Could you get Deuteronomy 21 and 15, and then we'll go back to Genesis 37 after in a minute as well. That's Deuteronomy 21 and 15.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 21 and verse 15. If a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated. And if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, verse 16, then it shall be, when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he hath, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn.
Good. What do you take from that, Darren? So basically, you got two wives.
Yeah.
You hate one of them, but the one that you hate is your first wife. She has a son by you. The one that you love is the second wife. She has a son by you. But the right to inheritance is who? The first or the second one?
The firstborn ain't gonna say
So then, so then, if you say, okay, cool, I want to give rights to the second born, what are you doing?
You're favoring the second born.
All right, case closed. Let me get Genesis 37 and verse. Let's go down to uh, verse 13. Genesis 37 and 13. Again, there's nothing wrong with having a preference. I'm still going to put up the word preference in a minute. You prefer one child for whatever reason. The lady stated it in the video that you might play football. Your oldest daughter, did she play football or anything, any type of sports?
Nah.
Okay. Well, if she did and you was into that, would you not more likely lean more toward the first daughter than the other one?
More than likely, yeah, because I'm a footballer. I'm a football fan.
Not only that, as we go back to Genesis again with Isaac and Esau and Jacob, as you know, it's a prophecy anyway for Jacob. But Isaac loved what he loved, didn't it? And Esau was a hunter, so you're ultimately gonna have a preference toward him, even though he was without melanin and everything like that. But he still had the preference, which was nothing wrong. But at the same time, you still have to treat them more or less fairly. They still would treat it more or less fairly, right? Again, this lady's just an Edomite. She's saying what she's saying. Take the meat from the bone. But she rounded it up and said, look, you still have to kind of balance it out. Sometimes you might have a preference because the child might have a disability. They might have this, they might have that. We understand that there's nothing wrong with having a favorite child. It's not a sin. We see it throughout all the scriptures, right? As pertaining to Joseph and the colorful jacket, Esau and Jacob, and even more, right? They had favorite people. Hey, Hannah was a favorite when you go to 1 Samuel, right? We're going to go to that as well to show you even among wives, you can have a favorite wife. But then you just don't treat them differently. Like where it's so obvious that, oh yeah, now this lady's just getting cookies and milk, but the other lady's getting steak and rice. That's just too obvious. It's the similar thing with the children. There's nothing wrong with having a favorite child, having a preference, but you just don't do it to a certain extent where it's like, okay, this child's suffering now, he's not getting no clothes, not getting nothing, but the other child's getting everything, or this child's getting told off 24/7, and the other child's not really getting told off and can kind of get away with a lot more things than the other child, right? When you go into the word preference, obviously you might just prefer that child. You might just have a common interest, which was stated in the video also as well. Can you read that scripture for me, Baba? Sure.
Book of Genesis, chapter 37 and verse 13. And Israel said unto Joseph, do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem?
Read that again, please, bro.
And Israel said unto Joseph, do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem?
So the brethren, right, the rest of the brothers who ended up selling out Joseph, Joseph was the favorite, Israel, whose name was changed to Jacob, right? He still provided the fatherhood. I mean, he still took care of his children. They still had to go out there and do what they had to do, take care of the flock and do other things. So with him getting a jacket for his son, he's showing a preference for that particular son. For whatever reason, there's nothing wrong with having a preference again. It's not a sin type of preference, it's not a sin type of favorite child. We see this throughout all the scriptures, right? But when you're making another child suffer now and going even like say you're not giving the inheritance to the first child, now you're going against the commandments. Now you're doing so. So we have to understand the difference in these things. So I'm glad we was able to watch that video again to get another understanding and to actually listen to what the lady is actually saying, right? And that there's nothing actually wrong with having a favorite child for whatever reason, disability. They might be the youngest one. They might be 10 years old. You might be in a younger age at that time, for whatever the case may be, right? Maybe just like that child, whatever the case may be. We see that throughout the scriptures. There's nothing wrong with that. We understand that. what we're trying to understand is how do we now not make it like the other child suffering or the other child lose out on the first inheritance because of, say, the mother, or because of whatever reason you just don't like to look at the child. I just don't like to look at the child, you know. For whatever reason, you can't. That will be now going off. You'll be committing a sin, right? As pertaining to what we just read in Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 15. If you take away the inheritance from the first child that is hated of the mother, uh, and you don't give it to the second one, right? That's not what's commanded, right? The Most High has given us the instruction what we should do. Anything other than instructing or going against the commandments will be a sin. Transgress the law, you're going off. Simple as that. Can we read Deuteronomy 21 and 15 one more time? So jump down to 60. Deuteronomy 21 and 16.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21, verse 16. Then it shall be, when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he have, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn.
God, that's a commandment. He's not asking us what you want to do. He's telling you may not do that. Like, thou shalt not eat this, thou shalt not eat that, thou shalt not wear these garments, thou shalt not do this. That's an instruction, that's a commandment, direct, right? And we know Deuteronomy is the law, the Torah, the first 5 books of Moses: Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Leviticus, and Deuteronomy. And Deuteronomy just means repetitions, repeating from the previous scriptures. Come on.
Verse 17. But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn by giving him a double portion.
Woo, come on.
Of all that he have, for he is the beginning of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his.
So the Most High don't business if you like this child or not, if you got a preference or not, you're still gonna give him a double portion. Right? The Most High says, or maybe you don't like him, so you don't have to give him another portion. No, you still have to give him a double portion, right? So what is that showing us then? We can't have a certain type of disloyalty or even going too hard on the preference with our children, basically. Put it that way. Right? The Most I didn't say to Jacob, oh yeah, you shouldn't love Joseph. He didn't say to Isaac, you shouldn't love Esau. He didn't say to Rebecca, you shouldn't love her son. Right? She didn't say these things. Right? So these things we got to understand, we got to realize. Right? Again, with the children, it's a bit tricky, but we have to understand the difference now with the I'm actually pull up the difference between preference and partiality, and understand that the law is the law, innit? You can have your preference all you want, but at the end of the day, you still have to give the right to the firstborn. And with going back to what's his name, Jacob, he still made the other children go out there and do what they had to do. So they wasn't suffering because Joseph was a favorite. They just had envy in their heart, right, for whatever reason, right? So the prophets, the forefathers, even our foremothers, they didn't sin because they had a favorite child, right? But when you have the right to inheritance, it still has to go to the child that you might not like. It actually says hated. You can actually hate your child, right? Whether it's because of the mother or whatever the case may be, they still have to be given the right of inheritance. And that's playing upon tables. Right? Does anyone have anything they want to say before I pull up the screen? Is my screen showing? No, it's not actually showing. It's like I think we're getting muddled up the difference between having a preference and having partiality, and with children. I mean it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because people might get triggered. They might actually have a favorite. Again, if you do have a favorite, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with having a preference, having a preferred child, having a child that you just reminds you of just you. You might have all girls and just have one boy at a late age. When we read Genesis 37, right, Jacob actually loved Joseph in his old age. Right, so maybe Joseph just had some type of thing that he liked about him. We don't know. But whatever he did, it wasn't a sin. Right? And pertaining to Isaac and Rebecca, it wasn't a sin. Brother Darren, could you read this for me? Preference versus partiality, please.
Preference is a subjective, personal liking for one thing over another. Example, liking blue over red. In contrast, partiality is an often unfair bias, prejudice, or favoritism shown toward a person or group, typically resulting in inequitable treatment.
In what?
Inequitable treatment.
So then again, when you go back to Deuteronomy now, 21 and 15 on down, if you hate this child, no matter what's going on, you still have to give them proper treatment, or the opposite of inequitable treatment, which would be the right treatment, right? Regardless, right? So that I hope that clears up everything regarding the children. I know it's touchy subject. Again, don't take everything the lady said for as anything. It's just a simple guideline. Watching it again actually made me actually see some more things what she did actually say. And in the beginning, I believe she actually said there's nothing wrong with actually having a favorite. When we read the scriptures, we understand the word is true. Nothing wrong with having a favorite. But if you've got a right to the firstborn of a child that you hate, which is possible, you can hate your child, you still have to give them a double portion. So the Most High is not worried about if you hate them or not, right? Regarding that, hey, you still have to give them the actual double portion, regardless. And as long as you're not abusing them and doing certain things, but you might just not like them for whatever type of reason. And like or not liking someone is a form of hate when you go into the definition. But you still have to give them a double portion, right, of that. Um, uh, so okay. So again, has anyone got anything they want to add on to that video once you watched it the second time? And bearing in mind, I didn't even actually watch these videos. So the first time I'm watching these videos with you lot as well. So I don't think I've got a one up on you lot or anything like that. I'm watching it first and live and direct with you lot as well. So I'm getting the same type of reaction as you lot are getting. But I want no one to feel like I'm cheating. I'll watch the video 5 times before. No, watching it live and direct with you lot. Brother Darren, could you read this last scripture one more time in the GNT? Free for emphasis. Free for emphasis. Because this scripture actually came to me, when I was thinking about the video not too long, everyone had their views and comments, and I said, hold on. Isn't it a right of inheritance to the firstborn of the one that's hated? But what are you saying, Darren?
No, I was about to read up the scripture.
Okay, go on, select it.
Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 15. Suppose a man has 2 wives, and they both bear him sons, but the first son is not the child of his favorite wife. When the man decides how he's going to divide his property among his children, he is not to show partiality to the son of his favorite wife by
Say that last bit again, please, please, please.
He is not to show partiality to the son of his favorite wife by giving him the share that belongs to the firstborn son. Verse 17. He is to give a double share of his possessions to his first son, even though he is not the son of his favorite wife. A man must acknowledge his first son and give him the share he is legally entitled to.
That is cold, Darren. The first time I'm reading the GNT, that is cold. Whoa. Hey, all praise to the Most High, man. So I can say, man, Bashem Yashai, man. Again, with the children, it's kind of touchy, kind of hit and miss. But hey, the law says what it says, innit? Yeah, man. Just have to leave that on there, innit? Jeez. How do I come off this? Okay. All praise to the Most High. I think I've got a few more scriptures and a few more. I might have one more video. One more video. Again, this is no respect to persons. Part 2, really pertaining to us adults, not really the children, because again, that can be touchy. But yeah, the scriptures say what they say. Nothing wrong with having a favorite child, but you don't want to be showing partiality to one child over the other child if there's inheritance being involved. Right. And hey, try and treat them as much as you can fairly, man. Right. Jacob, whose name is Israel, let the other children go out there and feed the flocks, man. He just had special treatment for Joseph, which again is not a sin. Let's get the book of Sirach. Actually, no. Let's get the book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 9. Malachi 1 and 9. So, yeah, man, that video eventually kind of was worth it. Was worth it. I thought I picked the wrong video, All praise to Mars. Most I was worth it.
Book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 9.
Hey, so I feel like I'm at camp, kind of have to bust my brain, to to make my point be known, or make the point that I'm trying to make be known. Right? But anyway, go on.
And now I pray you, beseech God that he will be gracious unto us. This hath been by your means. Will he regard your persons? Saith the Lord of hosts.
So we have to earnestly ask the Most High, beseech God to earnestly ask that He'll be gracious unto us, man. Right? So we have to remember that if the Most High is going to be gracious unto us, we have to be gracious unto Him. And will He regard your persons? Again, the Most High is not respect to persons, neither should we be a respect to persons among each other, man. Right? No matter if it's male or female, man. Right? Don't be a respect to persons among one another. Anyone got any precepts, any comments, anything they want to lay off the chest? I believe I've got one more video. Praise Yahweh, Hashem Yoshe. Nice, a bit early as well. But hey, it's part 2 in it. It's not going to be as long as part 1. Sweet.
If you have a dry, flaky scalp, moisture isn't enough. If your scalp feels dry and tight,
don't worry, because we have Head & Shoulders Derma X Pro.
it helps fortify your scalp barrier and moisturizes your scalp.
Does it fortify? It fortifies.
Beautiful hair starts with a moisturized scalp.
Head & Shoulders Derma X Pro.
Hi Psych2Goers, and welcome back to another video. We're glad to see you here and want to thank you for supporting us. Your ongoing help, sharing, and liking have helped Psych2Go continue our mission to make psychology more accessible to everyone. Now, back to the video. Fake friends are selfish, manipulative, and disingenuous towards you. They're focused on what you can do for them and could care less about you as a person. Are you wondering if you have a fake friend in your life? Here are 7 things that only a fake friend would do. 1. They talk about you behind your back. Do you find this person gossiping about you behind your back and spreading your secrets to everyone? No matter how juicy the rumor is or how popular it might make them, a true friend would never jeopardize your friendship or humiliate you like that by stabbing you in the back. But fake friends will talk trash about you and spread rumors about you when you're not looking. 2. They throw you under the bus. When the going gets tough, fake friends are willing to just throw you under the bus and pin the blame on you if it means saving their own skin. They don't vouch for you, they don't take your side, and they certainly don't stick up for you when someone is hurting or belittling you. The truth is, they don't think you or your friendship is worth putting themselves at risk for. 3. They constantly cancel on you. Have you spent weeks planning a trip only for your friends to cancel on you at the last minute? Was there something you were looking forward to doing with them, but they never even bothered to show up? No matter how many times you keep reminding them about it, your so-called friends never keep their word. You've had to learn the hard way over and over again that you can't ever count on them to come through for you. 4. They exclude you from their plans. Do they seem to conveniently forget to invite you to things? Do you feel excluded from group activities more often than not? Even if you go out of your way to invite them or tell them about your plans, they just don't do the same for you. 5. They call just to ask you for favors. Does this situation sound familiar to you? Oh, hey, listen, I know we haven't talked in a while, but I need a really big favor. Do you think you could help me, please? If this friend only ever calls you up to ask for your help, then they're probably a fake friend. Fake friends think it's okay to ghost you for weeks, only to pop up and ask you for a favor. They don't even bother to ask you how you're doing because, really, they're just using you to help fix their problem. And the moment you give them what they want, then they're out of your life once more. 6. They give you backhanded compliments. Have they ever said things to you like, "You did surprisingly well," or "That was better than I expected from you," or maybe, "You look so much better than you usually do"? A backhanded compliment is something fake friends do to subtly put you down by making it sound like praise. It's a way to criticize you without being too obvious about it. It shows that they are jealous of you and that they judge you more harshly than they want to let on. What they really want to do is to take a dig at you and pass it off as a bit of light-hearted teasing between friends. 7. They only talk about themselves. Do they go on and on about only themselves, their problems, and whatever else is going on in their own lives? Do they brush you off when you want to talk about your thoughts and feelings? Does it seem like they don't pay attention to any topic that doesn't involve them? The communication between you two feels largely one-sided because fake friends are self-absorbed and inconsiderate. They don't care much about you or what you have to say. Like any other kind of relationship, all relationships need honesty, trust, care, and mutual respect to thrive and survive. But when it comes to fake friends, you'll notice that all of these things are sorely missing. Did anyone in particular come to mind during the course of this video? Have you ever been in a fake friendship before? Let us know in the comments below. While it's painful to find out that the people you once consider your close friends turn out to be fake, it hurts even more to keep denying yourself the truth and stay with someone who isn't any good for you. If you enjoyed watching this video, give us a thumbs up and share it with someone who might find it helpful too. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more Psych2Go videos. And as always, thanks for watching.
Right. Anyone got any comments, concerns regarding that? Sister said it sounds like family members. I mean that goes into it as well when you have family members that take sides and you're not allowed in the group chat. Brother Darren, this is not part of the lesson. We can add this in there regarding friends. Segues into it a bit. Can I get Proverbs 17 and 17? You can have that as well. You have favorite cousins and whatnot, and for whatever reason, they're above you and you've done them nothing wrong, but you're not invited to the cookout party, gossiping going on. He can't hang with us because he looks this certain type of way. We don't know what it is sometimes with family members. Could be a multiple things. Like they got their little group and their clique where they kind of stay along with each other, and you're not able to be part of that because you're not cool enough. Right? You ain't got the best jackets, right, or the flyest cars, or whatever the case may be. Our people are super foolish as well. They just kind of just see things as like just vanity, right? Everything just see, touch, hear, smell, and taste. It's nothing really spiritual. Proverbs 17:17, please.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 17. A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity.
Yeah, your brother, your friend, they're gonna love you at all times, man. And they're gonna be born for adversity. They're gonna give you that tough love. They're gonna tell you things that you might not want to hear, as the brother Peter said, man. They're gonna say things to you, man. Right? And you can't take it any certain type of way. Right? Hey, because they wouldn't be perceived as a respected persons. Oh, I'm not gonna say this to this brother. Maybe he's not gonna drop me home. Maybe he's not gonna give me no ice cream. Maybe he's not gonna invite me to his wedding, or whatever the case may be. Right? We can't be doing these things, man. Right? We gotta understand that we have to live justly and live honorably, right? According to the scriptures and according to how we see our forefathers and our foremothers dealing, right? Dealing with the poor, right? Giving to charity, right? Helping out the sick, being there when people are unjustly locked up, right? Being there for funerals, or being against fake people that show respect to persons, right? Standing up for your brethren and sister when they're not around. You hear them being spoken about. Oh, he's talking about him. He's not talking about me, right? That is your friend, though. So if anyone talks badly about my friend, I'm going to say something. Against my brother, I'm going to say something, right? Not that they're so comfortable or they're so all right talking about this brother around me. If they're saying that around me, they'll say it to me, right? Or they'll say it about me to someone else, right? So you have to be careful with people call your friends and make sure that you're not around someone that's a respected person, and make sure you're not a respected person. Sister, you had your Hannah.
Yeah, I was just thinking, it was specifically when she started talking about calling you for things. I've got family members that will literally just call me when they want money. They don't really call me or message me any other time.
And what's one of the meanings of respected persons based on wealth or status or appearance, rather than judging fairly, which is condemned as a sin for both people and contrary to God's nature, as Acts 10 and 34. But go on, sis.
They despitefully use, some family members will despitefully use you.
Mm.
That's what I wanted to say. That's why I
Sad.
said that.
Sad. Very sad. But the scriptures say that, hey, pray for them that despitefully use them. Hey, Yahweh actually said that. Right? Those that despitefully use you. Your status, you might make garments, you might be able to do someone's hair, they're just using you. Right? Yeah, you have to pray for those people, man, because they are people at the same time. But yeah, no respect to persons, man. No respect to persons. And for those that wasn't there for part one, which is maybe that 3-4 years ago, Brother Nathan, could you put a few precepts in the chat for me, please? Just so they get a chance to see what was brought out in part one. I believe it was me, you, and Akeem at the time. So praise the Most High. If you can put, Brother Nathan, if you can put Leviticus 19 and 15, because we're more or less wrapping up now. That's the last video. Leviticus 19 and 15. Jude 1 and 16. And you know what, Darren, can you get a couple of these scriptures for me? Seeing as Nathan doesn't look be used for too much. We don't want to use them for too much. So quite a bit of scriptures. So if you those scriptures you can write in the chat. Those scriptures again, Nathan, was Leviticus 19 and 15 and Jude 1 and 16. And if you can get Brother Darren, 2 Samuel 14 and 14. We're just wrapping up now. I know it's getting late. Some people got camp tomorrow, some people got things to do tomorrow, gathering together. Some people go to the park to meditate, read the scriptures. Some people at home watching videos, meditating, eating their fruit and their veg, sandwiches, whatever the case may be.
Book of 2 Samuel, chapter 14 and verse 14. For we must needs die, and are as water spilt on the ground, which cannot be gathered up again. Neither doth God respect any person, yet doth he devise means that he is banished not to be expelled from him.
Yeah, so the most I don't respect any type of persons. We're going to be judged the same. But I believe Nathan might be sleeping, but I'll just put it in the chat. 2 Samuel 14. But I get a few more from part one. Those that wasn't there at the time. Let's get the book of Deuteronomy 16 and 19. Deuteronomy 16 and 19.
Deuteronomy chapter 16 and verse 19. Thou shalt not wrest judgment, thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift, for a gift doth blind the eyes of the wise, and pervert the words of the righteous.
Gifts and being respect to person can change someone's mind on something, and give injustice, give unlawful judgment. Let me get a precept quick because something just came to my head. Scripture just came to my head. Scripture just came to my head. I'm gonna get the book of Micah, chapter bear with me. Yeah, Micah chapter 6, verse 8. Just a quick precept.
Book of Micah chapter 6 and verse 8. He hath showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God.
Yeah, so we have to do justice and show mercy to one our brethren, and be humble, right, with your power, man, with your God. Right. Let me get Proverbs 24 and 23. Again, we're not going to be able to read all of them, but these are the ones that are brought out in part one for those that missed it.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 24 and verse 23. These things also belong to the wise. It is not good to have respect of persons in judgment.
Yeah, so you're dealing with judgment, no respect to persons, right? With the Most High and with among each other, playing upon tables. I can get the last one, Leviticus 19 and 15.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 15. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor.
Righteousness, judge thy neighbor. So yeah, that's the lesson. All praise to the Most High. Those that listened. Scribe, Brother Nathan, believe he's sleeping. The reader, Brother Darren, all praise to the Most High. PT.2. And for everyone else that was able to join, all praise to the Most High for everyone that was able to join, man. Bashem Yeshua. Sorry, sister had a question. She got a hand up still, I believe. Or was that from before? It might be from before. So all praise to the Most High, Bashem Yeshua. As I said, the other scriptures are put in there from part one. And pertaining to, obviously, no respect to persons, part one, and this is no respect to persons, part two. It was longly awaited and definitely needed. We have to make sure that we're just among each other, do things rightly, and as much as we can, not looking at certain things regarding each other, not showing favoritism towards one another in a bad way, man. Right? With children, again, it can kind of be a bit of a grey area, but hey, we know what the scriptures say, and we know what we have to do, man. If something feels wrong, more than likely it's wrong, man. Right? I have a favorite friend. All praise to the Most High, you got a favorite friend, but don't be looking at one person above another person based on material things, right? Or what someone said about someone else, right? Or any partiality, wealth, right? Any status or appearance, man. Right? Those are the definitions of being a respected persons, biblically also as well. So praise the Most High. Anyone got any questions, any comments, any precepts you want to bring out? I believe someone put a precept in the chat. I'll just read it quickly. Sana said, Sirach 6, 7 through 8. Thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. Verse 8, for some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. Yeah, that's a fake friend. They will not be around when you going through certain things financially, spiritually, mentally, physically. Right? They're just going to go and get a new friend and say, yeah, I knew that guy. He's a waster or she's a waster. They're not for me, whatever the case may be. But then when you're doing things and you're around them, they want to be around you. And that's why, as it says in verse 7, you shouldn't be too quick to credit a friend. Right? But that's another lesson going into friendship. But it segues a bit into being a respected persons for multiple reasons. Anyone else got any comments, concerns, anything about the lesson, any precepts? Any videos? You might have found any videos. Very nice. Right. Darren, last one. Let me round it up. Yeah, Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Right. We are the favorite people. We are the chosen people amongst all people. Pertaining to second Esdras, such as 6 verse 54, Amos 3 and 1, Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6, Deuteronomy 14 and verse 2, and many other precepts. Right. You got a book of Sirach. Right. 17 and 17, the Most High is our ruler. Right. You even got Deuteronomy. Right. If an animal die of itself, we can't give it to our fellow brethren. We got to give it to aliens, someone else is not of our people. So the Most High is a favorite. Hey, the Most High is actually a racist. Racist meaning pertaining to your own, loving your own. As a pianist, he only loves his own. Guitarist only loves his own. We got to understand the meanings of words, like AST. Right? Nothing wrong with a guitarist loving only guitars. Right? Can't confuse the word discrimination with racism. Yeah, can I get that, brother, please? Deuteronomy 7 and 6, and we might as well get Deuteronomy 14 and 2 since I quoted it.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all that are upon the face of the earth.
Let me get Deuteronomy 14:2. We're the creme de la creme, the best of the best. Everyone want to be like us, dance like us, just like us, talk like us. No one want to go through what we went through or what we continue to go through. So no one's going to be saved the way we're going to be saved. Right? We're the only people that are going to receive true salvation. Right? Kingdom of heaven, everlasting life, streets paved with gold. Right?
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, and verse 2. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all the nations that are upon the earth.
Yeah. Okay, close your Bible, man. Above all the nations that are upon the earth, we're the chosen people. He chose us above all of those people. Yeah. All right, so that's been my lesson. I appreciate everyone in the chat, those that are commenting, those that are reading along, those that are edified. Even if I was able to edify one person, I've done my job. Hey, I was able to be edified even by myself through the word of the Most High, who is Yahweh Shai. All right, so give all the glory to Yahweh, Basham Yahweh Shai. Let me stop this now.